They cannot stand your light, and worse yet, you don't even know how much it scares them. You might think you're living an ordinary life, not making any significant impact, but the truth is much darker than you imagine. What you carry inside, this energy, this flame, is unsettling those around you in ways that you can't even understand. What if I told you that what you're experiencing is not just a coincidence, but part of a bigger plan? A plan they don't want you to uncover. Your light is igniting shadows they can no longer hide. They feel it, and that's why they want to snuff you out, to diminish you, to make you believe you're incapable of shining. But you need to understand something essential. It's not you they're afraid of, it's what you represent. Here's the truth no one has the courage to tell you. They're afraid of you. And if you continue on the path you're walking, you will realize that the obstacles appearing aren't just challenges. They are reactions to your light. Every sideways glance, every poisonous word, every moment of doubt that crosses your mind is a reflection of the fear your presence awakens. They cannot bear what you could become, the impact you could make. But at the same time, you are being tested. The true purpose of your light is not to be hidden. It's to be seen, to be revealed. And are you ready to understand why this is happening? Are you prepared to see what they really fear in you when they look at you? What are they really seeing? No, it's not just the reflection of an ordinary person. There's something beyond that. Something invisible that shines intensely. Something that bothers them in an inexplicable way. Your presence is not just physical. Your energy overflows in a way they don't know how to deal with. What you carry inside is a secret, a hidden power that they feel but do not understand. That something you project makes many feel uncomfortable, even threatened. Have you felt this? Those quick glances, those distancing gestures as if you're on a frequency they can't reach. They are, in fact, trying to deal with the reflection you carry, a reflection of what they refuse to see in themselves. Your light is a mirror, and many would rather turn away than face the truth it reflects. The problem is, the more you try to hide your light, the brighter it shines. You cannot extinguish something that is intrinsically within you, something placed there for a higher purpose. And that's what scares them. Your energy cannot be contained, and even if you try, it overflows in ways that no one can control. The fact that you haven't fully realized this only makes it more powerful. They know this, and that's why they watch you with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. They don't know how to react to the light you radiate, and the only thing they can do is try to put it out, diminish it, or overshadow it. But what they don't understand is that the more they try to snuff you out, the stronger your light becomes. No matter how much they try to control or manipulate the situation, your light will continue to shine, even in the shadows they try to create around you. And here lies the dilemma. They cannot destroy you, because you are stronger than that. They do not have the power to extinguish what was given to you. Your light is a mission, a calling you've barely begun to understand. And while they distance themselves or try to stop you, you are closer than ever to fulfilling the purpose for which you were chosen. The real question now is, will you keep hiding this light, or will you let it shine, unafraid of what others may think or feel? Shining in a world of shadows is not an easy thing, and you've probably noticed that by now. Every time you try to stand out, there is an invisible force trying to pull you back into the darkness. It's not that you want to be the center of attention, but simply living your truth already seems like a threat to those who lack the courage to face their own light. The cost of shining is higher than you imagine. Sometimes you find yourself forced to give up a part of who you are just to try to fit in. But that's not what was destined for you. The shadows around you have weight. They are constantly trying to smother the brilliance you carry, and that can be exhausting. Every time you try to move forward, it seems the world around you tries to pull you back. Have you felt that pressure? The sense that the more you shine, the more others try to diminish you. They don't want to see your light because it illuminates parts of themselves they'd rather keep in the dark. This constant struggle against the shadows is a silent battle, but it's necessary. When you choose to shine, you are inevitably drawing the attention of forces that want you to stay where you are. They don't want you to evolve, to reach your destiny. What they don't know is that by trying to stop you, they are actually making you stronger. Every obstacle, every discouraging word, every attempt to put you out only serves to fuel your flame even more. You have a strength within you that cannot be defeated by mere shadows. The brilliance you carry is unique, and that's what they cannot bear. They fear that by shining, you will show them the true possibility of transformation. Their fear isn't about who you are now, but about who you can become. They know that if you allow yourself to shine fully, you will touch other lives in ways they can't comprehend, and that's why they try to stop you. But what they don't realize is that the more you shine, the more your true power reveals itself, and the harder it becomes for any shadow to reach you. This is the price you pay, being willing to stand out, to be different, to be true to yourself. But by paying this price, you will discover something incredible. Your light is unbreakable. Even if they try to put you out, it will always come back stronger. And the more you refuse to hide, the closer you get to what you were truly destined for. No matter what the world tries to do, your light will always be your greatest weapon. Are you ready to pay that price? You feel that something is happening, but you can't fully understand what it is. It's not just a temporary block or a random obstacle. There's a silent conspiracy at play, an invisible force trying to keep you blind to the truth that lies before you. Every step you take toward awakening is met with invisible resistance, something pulling you back, as if the shadows know exactly where you're going. This resistance isn't mere coincidence, it's real, and it has a purpose. The signs are everywhere, but you need to be alert. The closer you get to your true destiny, the more you start to notice that things around you are becoming uncomfortable. People start acting strangely, situations become more challenging, and you find yourself more confused than ever. What you don't understand is that these things don't happen by chance. There is a hidden force working against your progress, a force that doesn't want you to wake up to your true mission. It's hard to believe this is happening, isn't it? It feels like a game of shadows that you can't quite unravel. But as you begin to awaken, you start to realize that things are not as they seem. There are energies, beliefs, and even people around you trying to prevent your evolution because, deep down, they know that your light, when fully revealed, will be a direct threat to everything they've built so far. This fear, this resistance, comes from something deeper, something beyond human understanding. Every time you move forward, this conspiracy against your awakening becomes more obvious. It may come disguised as good intentions, wise advice, or obstacles that seem to appear out of nowhere. But deep down, it's all a strategy to keep you in the dark. They know that if you fully awaken, if you realize the power you carry within, there will be nothing that can control you. And that's exactly why this resistance appears in so many different forms. They know your light is uncontrollable. But here's the secret. This resistance is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you are on the right path. If nothing were trying to stop you, it would mean you're not heading toward your true purpose. The forces that try to hinder your awakening are just evidence that you are about to release something grand. You are not alone on this journey, and what's behind all of this is greater than you can imagine. You're about to discover the truth behind this conspiracy, but to do so, you need to keep moving forward, no matter what appears in your path. The hardest battle you'll face is not in the outside world, but within yourself. You feel it, but maybe you don't fully realize. The enemy trying to bring you down is closer than you think. It doesn't come from outside. It disguises itself as fear, doubt, and insecurity. Every time you try to take a step forward, this internal enemy whispers in your ears, trying to convince you that you're not capable, that you're not worthy of the greatness calling for you. But what you don't know is that this enemy at its core is the greatest obstacle between you and your true destiny. Have you ever wondered why, even when you try, something always holds you back? Why does it feel like there's an invisible force pulling you down every time you try to rise? This enemy doesn't need a visible face. It hides in the shadows of your mind, using your own insecurities against you. It tries to make you believe that your light isn't enough, that your dreams are impossible, that your past failures define who you are. But in reality, this enemy is just taking advantage of your lack of awareness about your own power. The biggest lie it tells you is that you have no control over your destiny. It wants you to believe that what's outside of you is stronger than what's inside of you. It knows that as long as you doubt your own light, you'll never be able to unleash the power you have within. But here's the crucial point. This enemy is not invincible. The only reason it has power over you is because you haven't realized your true strength yet. When you finally look inside and recognize the light that shines in your heart, it will have no control over you anymore. You need to understand that this enemy is not truly your enemy. It is merely a reflection of your own limiting beliefs, your own doubts. When you start seeing yourself as you truly are, a person with a greater purpose, a light that cannot be extinguished, this enemy will lose all its power. The only way to defeat it is by confronting it directly, with courage, and deciding once and for all that you will no longer be enslaved by fear. You no longer need to hide from it. The true battle begins when you choose to free yourself from this internal enemy. The good news? This enemy has no power over your light. The closer you get to your true purpose, the more you realize that, in reality, it has no control. The only thing you need to do is stop listening to it and move forward with confidence. Your light, no matter how threatened, cannot be extinguished by this enemy. On the contrary, every time you face it, your light shines even brighter. This is the moment to flip the switch inside you, to take control and to destroy the enemy that has always lived in your mind. Are you ready for this confrontation? Have you ever noticed that when you enter a room, some glances seem to weigh on you in a way no one else seems to understand? It's not just any look. It's a look filled with distrust, with silent judgment. But what you don't know is that these looks say nothing about who you are. They reveal something much deeper. What these individuals are reflecting within themselves. Your light is disturbing something they can't face, and that's why they try to belittle you, even though in many situations they don't even realize they're doing it. This reaction isn't personal. In fact, it's much more than that. They're confronting a part of themselves that they're afraid to look at directly. Your light, your presence, exposes their insecurities, their failures, their unfulfilled dreams. They feel threatened by the strength you carry within you, and instead of recognizing the brilliance you represent, they try to overshadow you with looks of judgment. They prefer to project their own fears and frustrations onto you than admit that you are exactly where they wish they could be, but lack the courage to go. These looks are not just superficial reactions. They are manifestations of the deep fear these individuals have of the unknown. And what is the unknown? Your light. They don't know how to handle the possibility of seeing in you what they themselves have been unable to manifest. You are not just an ordinary person in their eyes. You are a reflection of all they could be, but have not yet had the courage to become. And this makes them feel an inexplicable anger, as if your presence is challenging what they believe is possible for themselves. What's most interesting is that you can feel it. Maybe not clearly, but your instinct has already warned you about the energy of a room. When people look at you differently, it's not something you should ignore. Every glance you receive carries precious information, not about you, but about others. And when you begin to notice this, you start to understand that what they feel is not a reflection of your truth, but a projection of their own insecurities. Now you can choose. Will you give in to the pressure of these glances? Or will you keep shining, knowing that deep down, they're just a reflection of who you're about to become? This is the turning point. The moment when you realize that these looks of distrust are not a curse, but a sign that you're on the right path. They're pulling away from you because your light is starting to reveal the truth they've been trying to hide from themselves. And this is something they cannot ignore. So what will you do now? Will you let these shadows define your path, or will you move forward, stronger than ever, knowing that your light is bigger than any look of distrust? Awakening is a dangerous journey, and you're not just waking up to a new reality. You're opening your eyes to a world full of hidden dangers, where what once seemed safe is now a threat. They want you to stay asleep, because while you're asleep, it's easier to control your thoughts, your choices, and most importantly, your light. What you don't realize is that by waking up to your true potential, you become a direct threat. Do everything they've been trying to hide. Awakening isn't just about seeing the world with new eyes, but about seeing beyond what they want you to see. They know you're beginning to perceive something that was once hidden. Maybe you don't have full clarity yet, but you feel it, don't you? Something inside of you is awakening, something they fear, because deep down, this awakening will lead you to a power they can't control. They don't want you to know your true strength, because they know that once you do, you'll become uncontrollable. That's their fear, that you'll become so strong that you won't need anyone to tell you what to do, what to think, or how to live. As you awaken, you begin to see the invisible threads that bind you to the past, the lies that were told to keep you in the dark. You begin to realize the manipulations that shaped your reality, and this is terrifying to those who want you to stay blind. Awakening is dangerous because it exposes everything. It reveals what's been hidden, unmasking the power games that keep you trapped. You won't accept what's been imposed on you anymore. You will question, challenge, and finally choose the path that leads you to true freedom. But despite all the danger and resistance, you need to understand one fundamental thing. Awakening is not an easy choice. It requires courage. Courage to see the truth, courage to face what's to come. And the worst part is, as you approach the truth, the obstacles become more intense. The forces trying to keep you asleep will fight with everything they've got to keep you in ignorance. But the truth is, none of these forces are stronger than your will to awaken. Now, what will you do with this? Will you keep ignoring the signs and try to sleep a little longer? Or will you face the danger of awakening with courage and determination? The world around you will try to convince you to stay in the comfortable sleep, but you know, deep down, that true freedom can only be reached when you choose to wake up and see what's truly before you. Awakening may be dangerous, but it's also the only way to real transformation. Did you know that true light comes with a cost? It's not just about shining, it's about the price you pay to keep the flame alive. And often, that price involves losing people along the way. As your light grows stronger, you start to distance yourself from relationships that once meant a lot to you. Not because you want to pull away, but because as you grow, the people around you begin to notice you're changing, and that change unsettles them. They can no longer identify with the person you're becoming, and that creates a rift. It's painful, but inevitable. You can't avoid this from happening. As your light expands, you begin to attract new energies, new people, but you also begin to push away those who aren't willing to keep up with your pace. Those still in the shadows, who prefer living in their comfort zones, will see you as a threat, and as difficult as it may be, you'll realize that they start to pull away. Sometimes this separation is gradual, almost imperceptible, but over time, you'll notice that the journey you're on is no longer compatible with the relationships you had. This is the cost of light. These losses can be painful, especially when it involves people you love deeply. But the truth you need to understand is that it's not about you leaving these people behind. It's about them choosing not to walk beside you anymore. They can't keep up with the growing brightness you radiate, and while that hurts, it's a clear sign that you're heading down a path they're not ready to walk. Your growth is forcing them to confront the darkness within themselves, and many prefer to stay in the safety of what they know. But you, chosen one, are destined for something greater. And no matter how many people leave your path, you need to keep moving forward. However, at the same time, every loss is also an opportunity for evolution. By losing these connections, you gain the chance to get closer to people who are truly aligned with your mission, who will support you and walk beside you as you shine. Your path isn't for everyone, and by embracing your light, you'll be creating space for new energies, new partnerships, and new experiences that will take you to a deeper level of understanding and fulfillment. And, as hard as it is, you need to understand that there is no progress without sacrifices. As you grow, you'll realize that the loss of people is not a failure. It's a necessary transformation for your purpose. So what will you do when you realize you're starting to walk alone? Will you allow yourself to sink into the pain of loss, or will you move forward knowing that your journey is worth more than any relationship you have to leave behind? You're on the right path, even if it takes you away from some people, because in the end, your destiny doesn't depend on what you leave behind, but on what you're about to achieve. Every decision you make, every step you take, reverberates in the world around you in ways you don't always notice. You might think your actions are small or insignificant, but the truth is you are influencing people in profound ways, even without intending to. Your light, your presence, is affecting those around you in ways you can't control. And the most powerful thing about all of this is that you don't need to be aware of it for the impact to happen. Your energy speaks louder than any words. You say, imagine how your choices shape not only your life, but the lives of those who cross your path. Those simple moments, those gestures of courage, or even moments of silence are planting seeds of transformation. Some of these people will feel the call through you, even without knowing why. You might not realize it, but your light is touching, lives in invisible ways, awakening something in them they didn't even know existed. The power of your action goes beyond what's visible because when you align with your true purpose, you begin to become a channel for something greater. But with great power comes great responsibility. You cannot simply ignore the impact your actions have on others. As you move forward, people will start looking at you, expecting something. They'll look at what you do, how you react, and who you choose to be. You're setting an example of a higher path, but that also places an immense responsibility on you. You can no longer act just for yourself. Every move you make will be a reflection of what you represent. And when you understand this, you'll realize that every step you take is not just toward your destiny, but also toward the transformation of those around you. This can be scary, thinking that with your choices, you are shaping the destiny of so many people can make you hesitate. But at the same time, this is your greatest strength. By choosing to shine, you are offering others the opportunity to see that it's possible for them to do the same. Your light, even if you don't see the immediate impact, serves as a guide for those who haven't yet found their way. But for that, you need to stay strong and brave. You can't hide or diminish your light because the world around you needs it more than you think. And here's the big secret. You're not doing this alone. You never have. Every action you take reverberates not only in the present, but in the future of those who will be inspired by your journey. People will follow you. They will learn from your mistakes and successes. They will align with your energy, and they will remember you, perhaps even without knowing why. Because in the end, when you choose to act with the light you carry, you become part of something much bigger. And while the road is challenging, it is taking you and others to a new level of understanding, transformation, and freedom. Are you ready to embrace this power? Now that you've walked a hard road, full of shadows and obstacles, it's time to finally understand the truth behind it all. Your light is not an accident. It is not just a characteristic of yours. It is the reflection of something greater, something divine that was placed within you for a purpose beyond your immediate comprehension. What you carry is not just a flame, it is the key to an awakening that can transform not only your life, but the world around you. What you haven't fully realized yet is that this light was given to you to be a tool for transformation, not just for you, but for everyone who crosses your path. You feel different, don't you? Sometimes it feels like you're destined for something greater, something that calls you with an urgency you can't ignore. And despite the difficulties and obstacles that arise, that feeling that something greater is meant to be done never disappears. This happens because you weren't made to be small. Your light reflects a greater mission that you may not yet fully comprehend. Every step you take toward your purpose is a step closer to revealing something grand, something connected to what the universe needs from you right now. But to fully understand the purpose of your light, you need to be willing to lose yourself. In the process, you need to let go of the idea of control and understand that the true power of your light will only be revealed when you allow it to shine without fear. You will lose people. You will distance yourself from places and situations that aren't aligned with your mission. But what you gain in return is something priceless. You're getting closer to a deep understanding of your true calling, and that requires the courage to face parts of yourself that aren't yet ready to surrender fully to your purpose. The journey up to this point has not been in vain. Every challenge, every pain, every moment of doubt was necessary for you to arrive at this point. Your light is not just a blessing, it's a mission. You were chosen for this, even though the path has been difficult. And the most surprising thing of all is that by embracing this purpose, you will realize that you are no longer alone. The universe, the greater forces, everything will be by your side, aligning the path as you move forward. You are part of a much larger plan, an invisible network that is constantly in motion, waiting for you to take the next step. Now, you have a choice to make. Will you continue living in the shadow of ignorance, or will you finally embrace the greatness of your light? Will you walk with courage and confidence, knowing that your journey is part of something much greater than you could imagine? Your higher purpose is waiting to be revealed, but only you can decide if you are ready to take that step. Are you ready to accept the impact your light will have on the world? The choice is yours, but the time to act is now. The last and most important choice of all is before you now. You are at a turning point where the path ahead divides into two distinct directions. On one side, you have the chance to keep shining with all the intensity of your light, the chance to move forward, facing challenges, overcoming adversities, and finally fulfilling the purpose for which you were chosen. On the other side is the option to hide in the shadows, to silence your light, to return to the safety of darkness where nothing challenges you, where you no longer need to take risks. But there is a truth you need to understand. There is no turning back after this choice. The pain of growth, the fear of the unknown, the losses along the way, all of this is real. But what if I told you that everything you've experienced so far was just the beginning of something grand? Every challenge, every obstacle is just the preparation for the great mission that is waiting for you. You already have the power within. You already carry the light you need, and now the only thing holding you back is your choice. Will you keep shining despite the fear? Or will you hide and miss the opportunity to live what you are destined to live? Do you feel the pressure, the weight of this decision? Every fiber of your being already knows what the path is, but doubt still holds you back from taking the next step. I know that deep down you're afraid of not being enough, afraid of failing, afraid of being rejected, afraid of losing what you already know. But I'm telling you now that fear is not real. It's merely a reflection of the resistance you face when you decide to step out of your comfort zone. The real challenge is not out there, but within you. What you're truly facing is your own resistance to being who you really are, to resisting the power of your own light. If you continue down the path of light, there will be losses. Yes, some people will distance themselves, some paths will close, but in return, you will find new connections, new doors that open, new challenges that will take you higher. You will begin to notice that the more you allow yourself to shine, the more you connect with those who are truly aligned with your mission. And more importantly, you will discover true freedom, the kind that comes from living in complete harmony with your purpose. You will be able to impact the world in ways you can't even imagine, transforming not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. So what will your choice be? Will you hide from your light and take the easier path, or will you allow yourself to shine and walk with courage, knowing that your light is the answer to everything you've always sought? The universe is waiting to see what you will do. And remember, the time to decide is now. Your journey doesn't depend on anything but your will to shine. Now, the choice is entirely in your hands. What have you decided? Will you keep walking in the shadow, letting fear and doubts paralyze you? Or will you embrace the power you carry inside and finally let your light shine? Remember, your light is not just yours. It is the answer to something much greater. By choosing to shine, you're not only fulfilling your destiny, but also awakening power and transformation around you. People will notice, the world will change, and you will become the beacon that many need to find their own way. Now, I want you to ask yourself, which version of yourself are you willing to be? The version that hides, that is afraid of growing, or the version that faces challenges head-on, knowing that your light is the key to everything you can become? The answer is within you, and the good news, you have everything you need to move forward. You just need to believe in it. Don't let the fear of the unknown stop you, because the unknown is where true power begins. If you feel touched by all of this, if you know that this is the time to act, share your journey in the comments. Tell us what you've chosen to keep shining or to return to the shadows. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Together, we'll continue this journey of discovery, and I will be here by your side to guide you as you unleash all the power of your light. This is your moment. The world is waiting to see what you will do with your light. Don't let it be extinguished.